guys, so welcome back to my channel, and I don't know, I had a completely different video I was gonna film today, but for today, like, I just feel like I need to talk, and maybe you guys will have, hey, maybe you guys will have suggestions or something, but I feel like, as a parent, maybe it's just because I'm a first-time parent, I feel like half the time, I don't know what I'm doing. And that might sound really horrible, but it's the truth. And that especially comes to disciplining and when to discipline. No. So, today, we went to story time, and Levi couldn't control himself. The first instance was him. What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh my goodness. The first instance was he just like kept going over to this other little girl and standing right in front of her so that she couldn't see the story, which he's so little he doesn't understand that. But the part that I didn't agree with and didn't like was that he kept trying to grab her, and like I don't let him do that. You know, for the most part he does pretty good, and he knows that he can't hit people. And today he wasn't hitting, he was trying to grab. He wanted to grab her braids, he was grabbing at her arm, and you could tell she didn't like that. Obviously, like, I don't blame her, sorry. He's playing with the dresser knobs. And he was just being ornery. So I removed him for one of the stories. And then we went back in, and I thought, okay, maybe, and we'd been there for a little bit, but it's only like 30 minutes. So we'd been there like maybe 15 minutes when this happened, maybe closer to 20. And he, like, couldn't control himself, so we left. Like, we went out into the hall and waited, and then we came back in, and we did one of the songs, and he did good for it. And then he just started having temper tantrums, which were coming close to 2 years old. He's a year and a half. Maybe a little more than that. I've stopped counting months. He'll be 2 in July. And he was just like, he was just having a fit. Like, hey, see, like, he's just on one today. He just tossed that makeup brush. And he doesn't like being told no, which most kids don't. And he's just like being ornery today is what it is. And it's like, how am I supposed, what am I supposed to do? You know, like, what do you do? And, yeah, see, what do we do? I just feel like being a parent sometimes, like, you just don't know what you're doing. Which probably doesn't sound good, but it's the truth. But we went back into story time, and he just started having a tantrum. Like, he was just screaming, and it wasn't, like, play screaming. It was, like, angry screaming. And I would tell him, shh, and every time I do that, I'll be like, you gotta be quiet. Like, he would get even more angry at me. And so we left. I packed him up and left. I don't know that leaving meant anything at all to him, with him being so young. I don't know that disciplining matters at this point. Like, it does, but I don't think he gets it, you know? So, the punishment was leaving story time. It's something that he enjoys, and so we left. He was only there for half of it. I don't know that it registers with him the reasons why we left, but that is the biggest reason why we left. Also, we left because it was so disturbing for everybody else. Like, the other kids couldn't enjoy it because he was being so ornery. Like I said, like, standing in front of that little girl so she couldn't see the book. Which, again, he doesn't understand that, but she couldn't see the book. He's grabbing at her. He's screaming so nobody else can hear the story. It's rude to the teacher. So, we left. And it was embarrassing. Like, it's the first time we've had to leave a place because of bad behavior. And I'm sure it'll happen again. Other places, I'm sure he will have bad behavior. No, can you not? Y'all are noisy people. Between you and the dog. Y'all are noisy. Why don't you go out there and play fetch with her, huh? Yeah, yeah, that didn't work. Okay. That didn't work either. So, I don't know. I just, stop it, Molly. I just wanted to come on here and talk a little bit about it because it's like, what do you do? Is what I'm doing, does it matter? Like, is it making a difference? I don't know. He's so young right now. It's like, I don't know if it's working or doing anything or if it matters. I mean, maybe when he's like 3 and old enough to understand things and he's well behaved because we've done this the entire time, maybe I'll know. Or maybe it won't matter until he's 3 and can understand what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. I mean, my thoughts on it are start now so I don't have to break habits later, right? Like, that's kind of my thoughts on it. But again, it's like, I don't think he gets it all the time. Like, the only punishment I know that we have done, and I know a lot of people are against spanking, and I'm not like spanking as in like multiple hits. It's like one whop on the butt. And he's wearing a diaper, so I don't even know how much of that he's feeling. He just knows mom's not happy. But there was a cabinet full of tax papers that he kept trying to get into and wanted to throw the tax papers all over the dining room. And I was on him about that for weeks. Like every day, sometimes multiple times a day, for weeks. And I'd make him pick it all up and put it away. And then we'd walk out of the room and he'd be mad, but he'd leave. And then it wasn't no time. He'd be back in there trying to get into it again. And we did that for weeks. And I finally had enough. And I popped his butt. And he cried. But it's been months and he has not touched that cabinet since. Like, he knows. And he'll go over and look at it, and then he'll look at me, and I'll give him a look, and he'll walk away. And he doesn't want to get his butt popped. It just registered with him that, you know, the consequence to getting in this cabinet is getting my butt popped. And that worked. The other thing that has worked is, and this one I struggled with too. We avoided a spanking for a very long time on this one, but he had an issue with hitting other kids. Like, it didn't matter where we were. Like, his poor cousin, the boy that's closest to his age, he's such a sweet kid. And Levi, every time he sees him, and he still does it with his cousin, but he'd hit him. Like, he'd walk up, quit. This is what we've been dealing with all day. It's just, doesn't want to be told no, doesn't want to listen, just being ornery. And here, do you want your brush? Do you want that? Do you not want it? You want it back up here? Ugh. Like, he just will hit his cousin. Just walk up and hit him. And his cousin won't do anything back. His other cousin that's a girl, he hits her, she hits him back. They don't have a problem. Because he knows that she'll hit him back. So they don't really have that conflict. But I would go to Plasma, and he'd go into the playroom, and he'd be hitting other kids. And we would go to story time, and I was always afraid he's going to hit another kid. And I finally had enough of it. And we went over this for months. And so finally, whenever he'd hit another kid, I'd pop his butt, and we'd leave. Because, like, we'd do other things. I'd take him away from playing, because that's normally what happens. He's playing, and then he hits somebody. So I would remove him from the situation, make him sit on my lap, tell him no. All of this stuff, and it wouldn't matter. As soon as I put him back down, he'd run back over and hit somebody. And so we did that for, like, weeks, if not months. And he was hitting us. He was hitting me and my husband. And we kept telling him no and don't do that. And we would try to correct the behavior. And it just wasn't registering with him. And so we popped his butt. And now we don't really have a problem with hitting. He still has a problem with his one cousin with hitting him. I don't know why. But every time he sees his one cousin, he hits him. And then he gets a pop on the butt. And then he's good for the rest of the time that we're all together. But with other children, like, I'm no longer afraid to take him places. Whereas before, I was like, oh, I'm kind of scared to go to story time because I'm afraid my kid's going to hit somebody. And I'm afraid to take him to Plasma because I'm afraid he's going to hit somebody. And, like, that's not a good way to live. You shouldn't be afraid of taking your kid places because you think they're going to hit somebody. Like, that's not good. And so a pop on the butt just works for him when it's something that is like that, you know? I'm not going to pop him on the butt for misbehaving at story time. I don't think that's warranted. I say that for extreme cases, I guess. But it's just like, I don't know, sometimes he's playing with the lights. They're touch lights, so he's over there touching lights. It's just, I feel like a lot of parenting is like, you don't know what you're doing, honestly. And it's so weird because pre-kids, like, I felt like I knew it all. I just knew how it would work and how it would be and what I would do with my own kid. And that whole idea has just been flipped upside down since having my own kid. It's totally different. And a lot of times, like, his behaviors, like his, hey, no, you're gonna break that. So a lot of the bad behaviors, a lot of it comes down to his temper. Like, he just has a bad temper. And on some things I can't blame him because, like, I would do the same thing. Like, I have a bad temper. It's taken me years to learn how to control it. And he's only a year and a half. Like, I know he gets it hereditary. He comes directly from me. And, I can't get too mad at him for having a bad temper when it took me years to learn how to control my own. And so it's going to take him some time, and he's a boy, so it's probably going to be even worse. So, I mean, I'm trying as best I can to be as gentle but firm and to be consistent with him. But at this age, a lot of times I just feel like, what's the point? I don't know. Hopefully somebody out there can relate and get what I'm coming from. Hey, let's not play with pennies. I just took pennies away from him and I was really mad. I don't know why my husband leaves these things laying around when he knows he can get to them. Anyway, it's like, it's just frustrating sometimes. And I guess that's part of being a parent, you know. Like, you love your kids so much and you want the best for them. And you don't want to discipline them. Like, it's not fun. It's not fun for anybody involved. I mean, it was embarrassing for me for him to act like that in story time. But it's also embarrassing to take him and leave. And, of course, he missed out on story time, so that's not fun for him. Again, not sure that he's registering the reason why we left, but it is why we left. He also missed out on going to McDonald's play place. So I decided, if you're going to act like that, we're not going to go there. Because I was going to go get some lunch and let him play. Because it's like whiteout conditions. I don't know what happened. I thought spring was coming. I thought it was here. And now it's cold and it's snowing so hard. It's like whiteout conditions and it's everywhere. Yuck. But I thought, you know, we'd go to the McDonald's play place and he could run and play, get some energies out, and we, you know, have lunch at McDonald's. Nope, we're not doing that today. We're just going to stay at home. And of course, he doesn't understand that. I know he's so young, like he doesn't get it. But if he's going to act like this, I'm not taking him other places, you know. So, I don't know. I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's like, am I doing right by my kid? Am I doing the right thing? I question that a lot. We're just in a mood today, apparently. So we're staying at home. And that is that. And I'll give you back your ball in a minute. I don't need two ornery children. I don't need to be licked either. That's yucky. So, yeah, I don't know. This is kind of rambly, but hey, if anybody's got any tips or tricks or suggestions, feel free to leave them down below. I know a lot of people are against spanking, and I hear a lot of people want to be super against spanking, but then like they don't want to leave any like positive suggestions, like instead of spanking, do this, you know. So like if you have any other suggestions, I am more than willing to listen, because you know, I don't like spanking him. That's not fun. I don't enjoy it. He doesn't enjoy it. I mean, punishments aren't meant to be enjoyed, but you know, I try to avoid spanking at all costs, and I do everything else that I can before it comes to that, you know, point in time. But like, after several weeks of telling you no and you're still doing it, I mean, something's got to give, because I'm not going to live my entire life chasing you away from the cabinet, you know? So, I mean, if anybody has any suggestions, feel free to leave them below. And I don't know, maybe it's just the terrible twos. Welcome to the terrible twos. Maybe this is just what it's going to be for the next year, and it's just going to be consistency and working with him and telling him no and redirecting him. And nope, we're not going to play with that. Nope, nope, nope. You'll break it. You'll break it. Where's yours at? Huh? You have one. Yours is right there. Yours is right there. Yours is right there. Yep, that one's yours. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go before he manages to break something, because he is bound and determined to get one of the other makeup brushes that I use. This one is his to play with. My other ones are in glass jars, and he's bound and determined to get into them. So we're going to end things here and get out of the bedroom before he breaks something. But yeah, if anybody has any suggestions or words of comfort or words of advice or wisdom, feel free to leave it down below, because as a first-time mom, half the time I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. And if you can just relate, feel free to let me know. So we're going to go ahead and get out of here. I'll talk to you guys later.